Why is playing against higher competition good? It's like playing with Smurf. Exactly. You're right, Encore. It's a good thing. When we start promoting smurfing, I'm not promoting smurfing. I'm promoting the fact that you should be challenging yourself against higher competition. What do you feel is holding you back in the ranked scene?
Easily mental, especially after the reset. I kind of lose my cool sometimes because I'm like, what is my team doing?
We're going to do something called the Houdini protocol. Now, Harold Houdini is a magician who was able to get himself out of all kinds of traps. The Houdini protocol I use with Radiants to be able to re-gear their mind to positive thinking in all things. So we have a scenario, the rank reset. A lot of people look at the rank reset in a very negative way. I want to find the good in what a rank reset does for us in the community. So what is good about a rank reset? So I'm going to give you the first one, and I want you to give me something. Rank reset is good because it allows you to play against competition that otherwise would have been higher and out of your reach. So out of reach competition. This is good because it allows for the people who have earned it to re-earn it and allows you to expose yourself to competition that you're going to be playing in the future. This is good exposure. The better competition you play, ultimately it might be painful in the interim or the short term, but the long term, it'll pay off dividends. Give me something that's good about ranked resets.
I guess you get exposure to like, I guess the opposite of that lower play styles too. So like just like it kind of forces you to sharpen your fundamentals.
Yeah, I love that. Sharpen the fundamentals because you're going to be playing against people that aren't as good as you sometimes. Yeah. That allows you to play a little bit slower and to look at the game in a different light. The other thing that I love about looking at this is that sometimes when you look at a lower ranked player, let's say Bree is a lower ranked player, they play very, very unique. It was funny because I had Iron VOD sent to me and there was someone on Pearl and they played an angle I'd never seen before, like never even considered crosshair placing. And I'm just like, I see this guy as a KO, I think, just playing here and like crosshair placing this spot. I'm like, what the f? Like I've never even like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Or what if I was chamber, right? Like, and I put like a rendezvous right here. That's not a bad angle.
Wow. Awesome.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I got someone else covering here, obviously. But like, this is what I was thinking. I'm like, I saw this guy playing KO like a moron right here. I'm like, well, how can I make this unique thing work for me in a higher rank? Well, there we go. Now, like the creative juices open up. So the cool thing about it is that there's a lot that can come into play with seeing how a lower rank plays. Lower ranks, new strategies. And a lot of the stuff you'll never see in higher rank because they're so protocol down. Give me another one. Why is playing against higher competition good? It's like playing with Smurf. Exactly. You're right, Encore. It's a good thing. When we start promoting smurfing, I'm not promoting smurfing. I'm promoting the fact that you should be challenging yourself against higher competition. 100%.
Promoting growth.
We're promoting growth. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying, oh, buy a new account and play Iron if you're an immortal. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a player who's trying to grow, you should not be shying away from competition. To give you an example, if you were to have your tracker on and you saw that Tens was on the other team, how would you respond to that? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Would you respond in fear and say, oh, we're gonna lose, or would you say, oh, this is a great opportunity to get punished and learn what I'm doing wrong, because I know that this guy has good fundamentals, has a good core behind him, and I can look at this VOD afterward and really take all the stuff out of it. But that is just demoralizing when you're playing versus Smurf all the time. I mean, here's the thing, is that the truth, Aster, or is that a story you're telling yourself? Are you always playing against a Smurf? Or did you have that one-off game where there was someone who was, playing pretty well? Is it possible that you'll get a Smurf on your team that'll balance things out as well, right? Maybe you lose one game against a Smurf and then you end up winning a game with a Smurf on your team. You don't really know, but you're putting stories into your head and messing with your own mental, telling yourself these stories that like, oh, I'm losing because of this. It's actually copium. That at the end of the day is not going to be helping you at all. It's just going to set you into a mindset where you are fixed, you will never grow.
I guess it gets confidence boosting in a way if you like climb the ranks.
Yeah.
Like again.
Yeah, it can be. The one thing I would be concerned about the confidence is making sure that you're not using that as your validation, right?
Yeah.
A rank does not validate you, right? You got to be very careful with that. Learning strats from them, then you can use to abuse when you get back to your rank. Yeah, so your growth factor is far higher because all of a sudden you see someone peaking something or doing something a certain way. Now when you're back to your rank and everyone's kind of like situated, you've actually gotten better because now you've played against some people that were punishing you otherwise. Great opportunity to record more games because you're going to have a wider variety of players. So we can go on forever on different reasons. Right? You should be coming up with like about 20 of them, and that will help you set your mindset to the right way. And then for smurfing, guys, what's good about being smurfed on? So again, you learn how so.
What better players do that you're not doing.
Yeah. Now, the common argument I get from all the copers on TikTok and YouTube is that, well, they're not going to do the same thing. It's like, well, they don't have to, because you're not giving them a reason to. 100% they're going to run you down because you're standing in an open angle and you're just like, oh, I'm losing the game. It's so sad. Oh my RR's gone. Dude, think about what you're doing, record it, look back on the footage and see that you're standing out in the open like this, peeking like 40 different angles. It's up to you. You can ultimately sit here and just complain about it, or you can try to grow from it. There's always something more you can gain from it. What else is good about smurfing? Does it humble you? Yeah. Is humbling yourself a good thing? 100%. Takes you away from ego. No more ego, better plays, better mindset. Think about all the people who have ego and how it completely deflates and destroys themselves when the moment matters most, because they've relied on this heavily. Then all of a sudden someone comes out of the woodwork and takes them out, and then it's game over for them. They drop all their freaking ranks because they're like, their mental is completely crushed. Relying on ego is a really, really bad thing. Relying on confidence is a whole other thing. What else is good about being smurfed on?
I guess it's mental training too.
Yeah, mental training, mental toughness. Being able to learn how to lose is way more valuable than learning how to win. Being able to deal with that, being able to look at like what's good about these different things. You can learn how to be carried sometimes. Actually, I kind of like that. You can learn to not be the guy, because how often does people in the chat, or yourself maybe, Mr. Asian, chase after frags? How often do you go for a play that is purely driven to just fill the scoreboard? It probably happens. Everyone does it, right? You don't have to be that person all the time. Sometimes you can set that person up. You can be Scottie Pippen for Michael Jordan. Nothing wrong with that. As long as the W gets on the board, doesn't matter. Playing against a Smurf is no pressure. Why is it no pressure?
Because you're kind of like, oh, I'm gonna lose anyway. Let's like try.
On paper, we're gonna lose. Exactly. So if anything, the pressure's on the Smurf, because they should be absolutely embarrassing you. It's the same thing as if you were to look at you playing tens. Tens has all the pressure. You're just the nobody. So here's the thing. It's really good to have that mindset, because now you're gonna be willing to try more shit. Limit test. That play that you think is good, try it a couple times. See if it actually works against a high level player. If it does, you might be onto something. If it doesn't, maybe we have to relook at stuff. No matter what, this is not just for Valorant guys, but also for life. If you use a Houdini protocol, you can do anything, right? Let's say, for example, you have a big plate of pasta and you just warmed it up and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take this down to the basement. I'm gonna watch some Reacher. We're gonna watch this jacked 6-pack monster of a man just absolutely decimate people. I'm gonna take this pasta down to the basement and watch this. But on the way down the stairs, I fall and I drop my pasta all over the freaking walls, all on the ground. My food's and now I'm sitting there going, shit, what's good about that? Well, now I have an excuse to clean my entire basement. For some of you that are living with their parents who've been wanting, you know, your parents have been wanting you to clean the basement, now you got a real good reason to clean it all, right? Because you can't leave it like that. Can't bring the girlfriend over with this pasta all over the freaking walls. You can turn anything into a positive. It's just a matter of how you look at it.
I honestly think this game was a good example of me like looking at that KD and like beating myself up for it too.
What was your final score at the end of the game?
I want to say I was negative for sure. I think I was like 5 kills under.
You think or you know? What was your exact score?
I don't remember.
What was Butt Tickle Bandit's final score?
I don't remember.
What was Bree Bree's final score?
I don't remember.
Did they remember your final score?
Probably not.
Who are you trying to impress?
Just hard on myself sometimes.
Yeah, you know, listen, hard on yourself is not okay, but being honest with yourself is okay. So saying the truth is important, but being overly hard on yourself is not, because that implies perfection in a game that is not perfect. It's a very flawed game. There's many things that go wrong that are out of our control. And to rely on perfection is one of the worst things you can do. As soon as one round goes the wrong way, you start tumbling down the mental hill. We have to be submissive to the events that happen around us. We also have to remember that these events don't happen to us, they happen for us. That's the mental that you want to have. I died here for a reason. The universe or the Valorant gods, Riot gods, want me to die here to learn something, to pay attention to something. It's not happening to me. To me is ego. I'm losing because Bree is not fragging enough. This happened to me. Be very careful with the perfection mindset. I used to have this problem too. I had a team that I was running in combat arms, and I was I was insane for our win rate, and it was funny because the first 3 days that I ran this team, I ended up building a super team. It was like the 1990 Bulls in basketball. It was ridiculous. This team was insane. I remember the first 2 weeks, we didn't lose a single round. We 6-0'd every team. We never lost a single fucking round. But it got so deep into my head, I'm like, if we lose one single round, I'm like, I'm just gonna lose it, right? And then when we lost that round, oh my god, the rage was insane. Then I just realized, I'm like, what am I doing this for? I started playing this game for fun, and now it's like a job. And I'm not even getting paid for it, you know? Like, it's like,